thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for your donations as well. We're doing this for 3 charities. Charity Crisis UK.
Yep.
Amit's doing 100k walk.
Yep.
Sahara.
In the Sahara, yeah.
Yeah, for Crisis UK. A few of the members here that join us are joining a 10k at the end of August for, it's with a company called More Than Running, and they're raising money for a few mental health charities. One of the ones in the UK is CALM, which is Campaign Against Living Miserably. All to do with really like suicide prevention. Yours is to do with homelessness and creating a better world for people. And then we both grew up with SPA UK, which is Sri Prajapati Association, and we're donating to that if we raise enough funds, and hopefully we get some more support through the time. That's really what we're doing. But I'm going to pass the rest over to you. Oh no, I need to do house rules.
Yeah, you do
house rules.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ladies' toilets on this floor, men's at the next level down. Teas, I think we've finished with the Indian chai, the masala chai, but if you want drinks, then we've got orange juice, water, herbal teas. Oh, that's Jay, my husband, by the way, so just speak to him. We have got Krishna and Sean there doing video, audio for us, and Kish, where are you? There, doing photography, because we wanted to document the event. It's the first one that we're doing in person, speaking about whatever we're speaking about, which you're going to explain.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to kind of like get documentation of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So I'm just going to say thank you again to all. If I don't get to say it at the end, we really do appreciate you being here, especially it's Sunday night. It's really warm. You probably wanted a beer instead of sitting here with a chai. But it's lovely having you here, and hope you enjoy the evening. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jay. Round of applause for Jay, everybody. Is this... Yeah, smashed it. What a great introduction. Is this okay as it is? Because I feel like if I put it the other way around, I'm going to like move my head. So is it okay? Can you hear me okay? Cool. Right, that's fine. I'll carry on. Welcome everybody to Jay Yoga Studio. Fantastic space. This is brilliant. It's really, really nice to see this space and being used well for this event as well, which we are going to talk about today, which is South Asian Heritage Month. So by raise of hands, give me a raise if you know about South Asian Heritage Month. Just raise your hand up. Okay. Cool. That's fine. That's cool. No worries, right? Because this is what it's all about. It's trying to raise awareness of what it is. So South Asian Heritage Month takes place every year. It started in 2020. It starts on the 18th of July all the way to the 17th of August. And it's to commemorate all the different countries that come together to make up South Asia, which there are 8 countries. So there's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, and there's one I've forgotten. Afghanistan, there you go. Jay smashed it.
It's just a little bit further than the other ones, isn't it?
That's why, isn't it? It's that way as well. So yeah, it's great, right? So it runs throughout the whole month, and it's a fantastic way for the UK to commemorate everything that the South Asian heritage individuals have given to the UK, and keep on doing so. So it actually came about it starts on the 18th of July, because that's the date where India first raised the independence agreement, which was the first country to gain independence, which then split out to Pakistan at the same time, and then Bangladesh a few years later. All these 8 countries have had some sort of British Empire or British colonization previously. So it's bringing all these countries together, and it's a fantastic way for us to celebrate all the different cultures, religions, the arts, the crafts, the yoga as well, which is fantastic. So it's a fantastic way for us to come together for this. A little bit about the independence thing is really vital, right? One thing I want to share is India gained independence in 1947, right? And a lot of people want to know why that happened, how it happened, and it's a really good way for South Asian Heritage Month to kind of raise awareness of why that happened, how that happened. And it was a very close relative of Prince Charles, so Lord Mountbatten, who was responsible for the splitting, and not just splitting India as India, but also separating the cultures and the religions as well of India and Pakistan. So with Muslims and Hindus, they announced that Pakistan will be the state for the Muslim religion, and that's where the biggest partition in history have happened. So 6 million people migrated across, and it caused all sorts of pain and anguish. But what we want to do is not have that separation. Oh, am I gone? My check.
Yeah.
Cool, that's fine. But yeah, but it kind of shows how South Asia was given a separation rather than it came about itself, right? And I think what we want to try and do, like events like this, is bring it all together and kind of unionize and make sure that we are stronger together and make sure that we no longer have that position anymore and work together as individuals and celebrate each other as well. So that's a little bit about South Asian Heritage Month, Jay. Is there anything?
No,
Yeah?
that's brilliant. Thank you, Amit.
No
I'll just share a little fact as well. So it's 1 to 14 South Asians in the UK, and we make up between 5 and 6 million people that live here in the UK now. And I think it's just nice to know that when we get classed as an ethnic minority, we're not actually a minority, but what happens, and this is what we're going to discuss, is we are minorities in certain sectors, and that's where we start to, I guess, use this terminology.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to have a bit more volume into some of those areas and actually celebrate people that are doing that. I know within the room there's a few people that work in film production, photography, within the space here, and honestly, it's nice to see you all collectively maybe working together or supporting each other. And yeah, it's nice to know that we're not ethnic minority, but we are minority, we don't shout enough. So yeah, I just wanted to give you those facts, and I think that's really a nice roundup of what South Asian Heritage Month's about. We're going to talk a little bit about our backgrounds, both being Gujaratis, British Gujaratis. So we say words the wrong way around.
We do.
It is because of this. So yeah.
Cool. So me to introduce myself and...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool. Okay, that's fine. So, hi everybody. My name is Amit Mistry. By day, I am a product manager in an insurance company, and by night, I limelight as a comedian. So yeah, something I've been doing for a while now. I've been, like Jay said, born and raised in Ashton-under-Lyne, so just around the corner from here. I am from first generation immigrants as well. So mum and dad came here from abroad, both at different times, which I'll go on to later on. I grew up in a very family-oriented household, so it was me and my mum and dad, my 2 older sisters, and my grandma, who were the majority of the household for most of the time that I've been growing up. So yes, that's me, my background, and where I'm from and what I do. So Jay, I'll hand over to you.
Where do you live now, though?
Where do I live now? I live in Mottram.
Yeah.
I've gone up. SK postcode is Cheshire, folks. Fancy, yeah,
so
yeah.
You weren't in Mottram before, though?
I wasn't, no.
You'd moved a little bit further north.
I did, yes, that's right. I didn't want to say this, Jay, but yeah, I did move to Bradford for a little while. Yes, yeah, remember, I thought I'd go down first, then go up. I'm kidding, I know, Bradford's great, it's really nice.
I need you to know, because actually this is another formation of our relationship, because that rooftop, and you were watching that guy doing some work, and I just kept watching Amit's stories, which I think rekindled our friendship and relationship, and it's nice to know that comedy lived with you all the time.
There was some guy getting his roof done opposite my house, which I could see out the window, which I was definitely not procrastinating for my day job for. But yeah, looking out the window, and then all I see is this chimney collapse. And that wasn't part of the job spec. So yeah, you can see the panic on the guy's face, and then I just followed them for the rest of the 3-4 days while they fixed it. And I documented every single bit, and it's on my Instagram stories for that time.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever knew that I did that. I'm sure if they did find out, they'd be very upset. But I didn't promote their company or say who they were, I don't think.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that, because I know that through lockdown and everything that happened, we kind of started speaking again on Instagram, because as you grow up, you move away. So I'm also from Ashton-under-Lyne, born at Tameside Hospital. Were you?
I was born at Tameside, yeah.
Woo! All the Tamesiders. My heritage obviously is Gujarati Hindu background as well. My parents is just my mum now, because my dad passed away. My mum sat there. So Gujarati Hindu, but my mum's born in Africa. My dad's born in Africa. They're both from Tanzania, and grandparents are from India, Gujarat. So really very similar backgrounds, but kind of different in the way that both my parents grown in Africa. I think for a short time they went back, and I kind of tried to remember everything that mum tells me, but getting older. And then they moved over here. So they were 15, 16 when they moved to the UK. And I think this is going to be an important part of what we're talking about, because hardship, different culture, learning a different thing, integrating into society, being accepted, working super hard, so we can sit here today. So
Yeah.
I think, thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad,
Yeah.
for pursuing a different lifestyle. Yeah.
It's very true, very true, it's very true. So, yeah, my mum was born and raised in India. Dad was born in India, moved to Africa when he was 8 years old. 1969, his dad, his two sisters, and his mum moved to England in Ashton, set up shop basically. And it was very hard time, right? Because you had to leave everything behind to try and live your life for your family and give them a better lifestyle as well. People from Uganda had to leave within 90 days. If you don't know about Idi Amin and his regime, Idi Amin actually kicked out all the Asians from Uganda, given 90 days to try and give Ugandans their kind of their country back, in inverted commas. So a lot of people, after living in Uganda, who immigrated over there, had to set up shop in England and pack their whole lives up within 90 days. So I've got friends with Ugandan backgrounds as well. So yeah, it's crazy. So when Dad was here, he flew out to India. He met Mum. Funny story about this. Mum came back from college off a bus. Her uncle was there and said, somebody's coming to see you. That was it. She went home, got changed, came back, had a half an hour conversation with Mum and Dad. Within 2 weeks, they got married. And then within 3 weeks, Mum, 18 years old, was on her way to England. Yeah, in my dad's suitcase. Now, I'm kidding. No, it's all legit. No, so yeah, but that's a real story though. 18 years old, met somebody for half an hour, and then by the time they got here, her whole life had changed within three weeks, right? Which is not an uncommon story back then. Sometimes people say that half an hour is too long. Some people have said to me. So yeah.
Did they do chai pani?
They chai pani, all that, yeah. But they found out certain things about each other after they got married. So like, Mum didn't know my dad was a smoker, and Dad didn't know Mum wore glasses. But this year was their 42nd wedding anniversary, so it worked, right?
Something worked, yeah. I was gonna actually touch on your mum because when we talk about education, your mum actually taught me Gujarati school, evening classes. I'm going to say she's a character. She's a lovely person, and I think you kind of emulate some of her kind of wisdom, fun, and enjoyment for life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think parents are a good thing. But she is super brave to have moved at the age of 18, probably not knowing many people to come.
Yeah.
And similarly, my dad, he used to talk about, my dad's not here anymore, bless him, passed away, but he used to say like he knew nobody, knew nothing. There's so many funny stories that he would share, but you know, it's quite a scary thing to think that you leave everything that you know to come to a different country for a different way of life. And well done to them. Yeah.
Definitely, good shout out. And that's a really nice way of saying Mum's a chatterbox and I am too. So I appreciate that. That's fine. But no, it's great. You're right. She knew a few cousins, a few aunties in further away towns. She had a brother in London, which is 3.5 hours away, 4 hours away. It's not didn't have WhatsApp back then. Do you know what I mean? No. So you just had to stop and ask for directions. So yeah, times have changed, but it is very brave of them all to move over and leave everything behind, so then their future generations can have a better life. And like you said, we're sat here now and we're living a better life, for example. So yeah.
So I'm slightly older than Amit, and I'm going to touch on education because we were talking about this earlier, and our parents becoming UK residents and working hard to put us through the education system so we can have a better life and settle, and hopefully future generations as well. I went to 2 Church of England schools, which sounds crazy when I'm nowhere near practicing. And I don't even know if I was really practicing Hinduism as such, because it was more like go there, do that, have that, uppas, farasad, this, that, and the other. Yeah. So it was interesting. But one of the, the priest at one of the schools that I went to was, he had an inheritance of a heritage of Hinduism as well. So we always used to have lovely conversations with Father Charles, if you remember. So yeah, it's interesting of that. And then my parents actually moved to Oldham. We had a shop, and then I went to school in Ashton still. So my high school and college days were still there. Some of the things that I was challenged with, and I think I still am, I've never been diagnosed as dyslexic, but when I asked in school, I actually got faced with, because you're from an Asian background, you people generally struggle with this. And that's where I never actually got supported for it, never got diagnosed, never been tested for it. But it was kind of a bit of a shock to hear that, to say, you're not going to get tested because you're from an Asian background. Had it been a counterpart, they probably would have been tested for it. But I got through, and my next culture shock was going to university. So growing up in Ashton, there's a big community. Most of the people I know in Ashton are my family. We have a big family. We're sat here.
I can attest, it's massive, it's ridiculous. Did you see the family photo at a wedding? It's ridiculous, like there's not enough stage space.
But yeah, so coming from Ashton or Oldham, and then going to De Montfort University in Leicester, standing in a club and going, oh, I'm not the only brown person. Whoa, how many brown people are here? I was in a culture shock. I was like, what's going on here? And that's actually interesting to think that my perception of going to a club wasn't brown people. Yeah, so uni was a nice culture shock for me, but I soon became what they call a Leicester girl. Loved Bhangra music, loved dancing, loved all the Bollywood. I mean, we used to watch Bollywood anyway, but I definitely embraced it and took it on as who I really am. And enjoyed it. And that's actually when I started doing yoga as well. So there was two sides of me. One was the clubbing, go to Bhangra. The other side was go to yoga. And then, I'll let you speak a little bit about your education system and what you experienced as well.
No, that's fine. Yeah, it's really interesting that because in Leicester, they actually don't have Church of England schools. They're called Mondays of India. That's how Indian it is over there. So yeah, no, I'm kidding. But no, it's really interesting, right? So I grew up, born and raised in Ashton. I went to an Ashton primary school and high school. High school was rough. Like it was. I went to Hartshead, if you know Hartshead or that area. It was we had someone nodding in the audience. Thank you very much. We actually failed Ofsted. We were that rough. We failed the basic requirements to be a school. That's right. Yeah. So we were less of a school and more of a youth detention centre. But it was how we got through it, right? Because education was such a big part of upbringing, and I think going back to the point we made about parents moving over and coming from other countries to set up a different lifestyle is to give us the education that they never had or got to have, right? So it was such a big push from high school. You know, you got to work your hardest. Or what sets are you in? Are you pushing yourself? Are you good in maths, etc. All the typical subjects, right? And then went to a sixth form college as well. And I went to Loughborough University.
Not too far.
Not too far from Leicester, yeah. So I kind of went around the area. So I didn't want to go that close to that Bhangra scene though. But no, it was really good, right? And the conversation. So my parents are not pushy, but they do want the best out of us, right? They want the best out of me. So when I was thinking about university choices, I was really into sports science at the time. I was PE, sorry, and I really wanted to do sports science. Like, yeah, go to Loughborough, do sports science. And Dad's like, no, no, don't. But he didn't say in that sense. He's like, what else can you do? Because he knew, even though he wasn't at university or has done anything like a higher education course, opportunities after are really important as well, right? So after having a good chat with him, I actually studied doing chemistry and sports science, so I did a joint honours degree, and I'm really grateful for that because it opened other options to me which I probably wouldn't have had before. And I think just having that conversation about, well, where can it lead you, it really did help. I know some of my friends' parents are the other end of the spectrum where they're really hyper pushy and they really want to control what you want to do, what subjects you want to do and what you should study and things like that, which it's quite hard to find that balance. And I'm quite grateful that in my household I had that balance to kind of both me and my sister, but all three of us, me and my sisters, to be able to do what we want to do, but have that aspect of, well, think about the bigger picture. And it's something which is always counted as a fallback. If you don't want to do it at the end of the day, that's fine. But for me, and for my family, it was always like, have your education first. If you want to try something else afterwards, do it. So my eldest sister, she does a lot of singing and dancing as well in her spare time. I've got into the comedy as well, which I'll go into shortly. But yeah, have that education first, so that at least you have something to fall back on, right? And there's one thing that I always remember when I was 21, I just got my. So I was 21 years old. I just got my results online from Loughborough saying that I passed. I walked into mum and dad's room. I was like, I passed university, and dad just went, "That's it. That's my job done." that's it. So he got all his three kids through education. That's basically him saying, "Right, I'm signing off now," which is really cool. Actually, think about it. Like that's his aim, right? That's one of the main reasons why our parents moved over. So it's really, really powerful to see that that's what their real focus was.
I can't speak from experience being the youngest because I'm second oldest or second oldest, I suppose. But one of them might know that in that scenario. But interesting that my parents either were not pushy about what subjects we picked. I think they just wanted us to do well and get good jobs or have a better life than they did. I think in Hinduism culture, Gujarati culture, a good job sometimes is a doctor, a dentist, a surgeon, consultant, that kind of level of finance. I definitely didn't go that route.
Yep.
I went down the arts, and I had a career of 20 years in the fashion industry, which actually I was definitely minority in the design aspect of that. If you go into production, if you go into like finance in the fashion industry, or you're looking at like sourcing, you might find more Hindus or people from the South Asian background, people that working in India, Bangladesh, these kind of areas will be doing this kind of work. But there was many a times I was very lonely in that design world because I was the only Asian person for a long time, and I could pretty much think it was 2012 or something when Asima came, headscarf, and I was like, wow, there's a designer on the team, not just me. I actually finished uni in 2003, so it's a long time, nearly 10 years of just being the Asian, being the Gucci girl on a design team. And it was a battle. I actually suffered, I think, with racism within a workplace, even having Indian bosses, because they wouldn't want to put you forward, be the face of the company. I was explaining, like, we worked with accounts like Next, we worked with Debenhams, we worked with M&S. I would never get those accounts. It'd always be like, you work with George, you work with Tesco's, you work with that small company and you have 10 of them and do the same amount of work as they're going to do with just the one account, which was quite heartbreaking because you couldn't do enough. And I think racism exists whether you are being spoken to about it or whether you have it as a underlying kind of discriminative way of working. So I think that my parents didn't push me to do that, but I definitely felt a lot of racism within that. I went to one interview, and the owner of the company, came from Australia. This is my third interview for this company. And the MD sat next to me. The owner of the company sat on the other side of the table. And I'd met the owner of the company in the lift, not knowing who he was really, just saw him. He eyed me up, and I was like, that's it. I'm not getting this job. The MD's like, don't worry. He didn't know how I was feeling. I didn't get the job. There's the underlying part of racism, because I could see it from the boss, this Asian boss. He was like, I'm not hiring her. It was like, you couldn't do anything else. And I was like, I know I couldn't. I did a really good interview. I wanted to swear then.
It's okay. It's not live, don't worry.
I actually smashed that interview. That's why the MD was sat next to me, and the boss was sat on the other side, or the owner of the company. But he couldn't even believe that I didn't get the job. So, these are things that we do face. As I mentioned, I'm older than Amit. Like, I'm an 80s born child, and racism exists so much that it's hard to forget it, but I think we shouldn't live by it as well, and we should be making the change and the wave to it. So I think this is another reason for this conversation, to actually highlight some of those challenges and hopefully move forward from it. So
no, definitely. I think it is, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and it's brave of you to share that experience, and it shaped who you are, right? It shaped how get you. I think for me, and everything happens for a reason. I think that's kind of, maybe that's a Hinduism thing where, there's always an action from your reaction. So everything leads you to where you need to be, right? And similar in previous workplaces I've been part of as well, where, you would see people of Asian minority backgrounds always good enough to be the trainer for the people coming in, but never good enough for the next step up, right? So you see people stuck in areas where they're not getting the progression because they're just so good at what they do, but that's not what you want. You want progression. You want them to go over. So these people who have come in new to the company, who have just been trained by this Asian person, go then leapfrogs them into team leader roles, into managerial roles, etc. And even like at workplace where I used to go to, people used to make those casual digs like, oh, have you got a bomb in your bag? Or, look at you, Asian working in the call center and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, you laugh it off when you're 21 years old at university, first job, right? But then after you think, hang on a second, that's so not fair. And it's these kind of platforms and South Asian Heritage Month really helps shape and share these conversations to raise people's awareness, thinking, oh, actually, what I'm saying is actually really wrong, and I shouldn't be really saying this or partaking in this kind of activity, right? And I'm gonna mess up this reference, right? But the BBC did an interview, did a piece of research, I think it was 2018, and it was the Adam versus Mohammed test. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but they sent the exact same CVs out to 100 companies, one called Mohammed and one called Adam, and Adam received 5 times more responses than Mohammed did. Just a name change, right? So that shows how integrated and how integral previously workplaces have been to racism before even getting to kind of the cause of hiring and then onwards as well. So there's such a bias towards it. And there are a lot of people, a lot of good companies doing things right now to change that, but definitely it still exists in some places as well.
Yeah. I do think that I come from a place of like having had that experience to make a change, because we're going to experience the meditation after, and I've really kind of focused it around like that centering of loving care and kindness. And I think that you can't hold on to what's been in the past, but we can try and shape the future. And that's really what I hope that we can do by these kind of conversations, making awareness and giving you strength, empowering you to maybe, even if it's a subtle thing that you do, it makes a big difference. So, yeah. Okay.
Excellent. Let's talk about comedy.
Sure. I think lighten it up.
Yeah, let's do it. That was deep, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So Jay will come and talk about like how I got into comedy, right? And going back to your earlier point, kind of where are we now and what do we do? So for me, comedy was something which was an outlet during this festival period of time. So when I was like kind of 14 years old, I had like this patch on my elbow. And I didn't get diagnosed until I was 18 years old, but I had psoriasis and psoriatic arthritis, right? And by then it had spread like all out my whole body. And I was really struggling with it. I'm on really good medication now. But as time went on, I was kind of making notes of things that I found funny, just observational bits and bobs. And I was writing it down. I was writing it down for about 2-3 years. I was like, I need to get on stage. I need to try this. Like, what's the worst that can happen? And I'll tell you what the flip was, right? When my psoriasis was so bad, I couldn't walk to my corner shop. That's just the equivalent of here to Tesco. Like, I really struggled to do that. So when I was on like kind of medication and had a much better handle of my life and lifestyle, I just said yes to a lot more things, right? I just wanted to do it. So I just thought, you know what? I'm going to get on stage. I'm going to do it. And I sat my wife down. I went, I'm going to do comedy. She's like, no, you're not. I went, yes, I am. And she goes, when are you doing that? I went, Valentine's Day. She's like, right, okay. So, and you know what? It was the greatest 7 minutes for a long, long time I've had, right? So I jumped on stage at Leeds on a Monday night, and it was a new material night. It was packed out though. It was like 80 odd people in, and I loved it, absolutely loved it, right? It was the first time doing it. I probably was holding the mic wrong. I was saying things wrong. I wasn't well rehearsed, but I absolutely loved it. And then I applied for another gig on the Sunday, and it was in Bradford in a rundown pub with 4 people completely off their face already at 7 p.m. And I got on that stage with the other 2 people who were there to actually listen to comedy. I just did the same material, and I thought, this is brilliant. Like, I got both ends of the spectrum at the same time, right? And I absolutely loved it. So that was in 2023 that I started doing it. And then since then, I've just been hammering home the gigs. And a lot of it for me, right, was the first 30 or 40 gig was learning how to speak. Because I'll be honest, I am very conscious of how I'm speaking right now. Because if you were to speak to me outside of this, I am so fastly spoken. I'm always making filler noises. I'm doing all sorts, right? So this is me concentrating.
Fast.
Am I really sorry about that?
I get told I'm fast.
Yeah, but I'll slow it down even more. So that's one of the things is about learning how to speak on stage. But yeah, it's been going great ever since. I'm semi-pro. I'd say semi-pro now, getting into weekend gigs, getting seen a lot more. And high five. Yeah. You can do it. It's all right. It's not COVID times.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going really well. And I'm just going to keep on taking it as far as I can go. But absolutely love it. And just saying yes to do something in a area where there's probably not much Gujarati, definitely not much Gujarati representation. There's some Asian representation, so good in terms of Indian comedians. When I was kind of 12 years old, there's kind of Russell Peters was massive at the time, and then people like Ramesh Ranganathan came around, Paul Chowdhury. There's a few, and then you had classics probably back when you were a young teen. No,
I was going to say, oh my God, he's going to tell someone that I don't know.
No, goodness gracious me.
Oh, right, okay,
So my sisters, similar ages to you and your sisters, right? So know, those kind of the first trendsetters
Yeah.
of Indian comedy in the
We
UK.
still joke about the aubergine.
No, 100%. Yeah, there's so many references
Yeah.
to Goodness Gracious Me that I recommend it if you've not seen it. Go and watch it
Oops.
online. Oops. But yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah, so that's how I got into comedy and I'm still doing it.
Yeah. So there was nobody that you actually were like, oh, I want to do this and I'm going to go and do it. You just went and did it.
Just went and did it. I found a club in Leeds that did open mic. I just went and did it. So there wasn't really an inroads of, like I said, like Asians or people that I knew doing it first off. I just thought, you know what, let's go and do it.
Yeah. And do you think if there was, you would have spoken to them?
Yeah, 100%.
think so,
100%. Yeah. You learn from those people, right? If you know somebody in that area, definitely go and speak to them, especially if you're in an area you want to get better in or progress
Do you
yourself
think
in.
that's just because of maybe seeing someone that looks like you to have the confidence to ask the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think even seeing Asian comedians think,
Yeah.
oh, we could do this. Like, we
Yeah.
don't have to work a doctor, lawyer, pharmacist job. We can actually go and do this. And it's just trying it out first of all. And then you do get better with time. You know, everyone has their own styles and etc. But yeah, if it was somebody who had the door open where I could go and ask them questions, then I would have definitely done that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
I often joke to Amit saying, as kids, I never had to pay to go and see him. Now I have to go and pay to see him. So thank you for coming
It's all
today.
right, no worries, that's fine. I've got a
But-
big house now. You need to pay the mortgage. So.
No, well done. I applaud you for it because it's a hard thing to do, to go out of the norms or what society might call as a job.
Yeah.
Because it is professionally a job if we can earn money from it
Yeah.
and create a living
Totally.
from it. But I think we look at like a 9-to-5 job, sitting at a desk or, you know, doing some sort of service, whether it's supermarket or something like that, as a job, especially within our culture.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just hit home again because we don't see many people in that area. And it's the same for me, like yoga. So I probably got into it when I was at uni, really.
Yeah.
But I do reflect a lot. Me and Bav laugh about it. Hi, Bav. We laugh about it because how many times we kind of refer back to SPA Sports.
Yes.
We refer back to Claudia Schiffer DVD. We loved that. Mr. Motivator, all of those things that you would have. Uni days was definitely like, I couldn't do Zumba. It was terrible. So, you know, I went to the yoga class and I was like, okay, you know, I can do this. And I was just like, oh, it's exercise, it's movement, let's just do it. And then really the turning point was really like stress and burnout through working in the fashion industry, feeling bouts of loneliness, feeling like, where's my outlet? And I used to go spin, and it was a spin instructor that changed and was like, oh, I'm doing yoga, do you want to come? And I was like, oh, I haven't done it since uni, but go on then, I'll come and support you.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, I'm going. And then I was like, oh God, I actually forgot, I really like this. And that's what got me back into it. But it was actually a conversation with one of my work colleagues that we were having a chit chat because work wasn't great. We were doing all the long hours and everything. And she'd got an opportunity to actually go and work in Bangladesh for the same company. And she didn't really want to go and do it because, I mean, I don't know if you know Bangladesh, it's not got the best lifestyle. And she was like, oh, but it's an opportunity. So she went and did it. And I was like, I don't think I could do that. And then she goes, well, what would you do instead of working in fashion? And I was like, I quite like yoga. And then I just went and did a research and did the course.
Brilliant.
So similarly, there was no kind of like checking in with anyone what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I just was like, oh, I think I'll just try it and see what it's about and whether I like it. And I said to my husband, Jay, I was like, it's either very expensive holiday, because I was going to Morocco and it was for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I was like, it's either very expensive holiday or I'm going to do something with it. It took me about 5 years after I did that first training to actually go and put myself forward and teach a class. But it was, again, the push comes to shove. I literally was forced out of a company. I quit. I woke up in the morning and said, I'm going to quit this job. The next day I was like, oh God, what am I going to do now? And
So did you make that jump yourself? Like, did you?
Yeah.
You was like, I'm gonna.
so it took me 5 years to start teaching
Yeah.
publicly group classes.
Yeah.
But I knew I had the qualification. And then I kind of had a bit of a, troubled time again in the fashion industry. And I was like, there's got to be a better lifestyle than what I'm doing. I'm constantly like battling in these jobs. I'm constantly feeling depressed, really. There was a point where one day Jay was like, why are you not getting out of bed? And I was like, you don't even know what this boss is like. And I literally can't get myself out of the bed. And it only was a couple of moments, but it literally felt so heavy, so deep that I just couldn't get myself out of there.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I look back at it and I think, and I say it to a lot of people, like, yoga's been my constant every single time that I've been in a bit of trouble. I've not found, like, anyone that I could speak to about it. Whether it's just meditation, breath work, movement, crying a lot, journaling, whatever it might be, it's got me to places. But, yeah, I definitely think that if I was to say who's supported me and inspired me, probably Jay, because you've just constantly been like, go on, do it. Go on,
Take
have
the
a go
applaud,
at
Jay.
it.
Don't make those faces. Just take it. Well done.
And I honestly think 10 years of teaching, I wouldn't be, or you all wouldn't be here without Jay being like, go on, do it, do it. He encourages me all the time. Like, even go for a walk in, you know, Saddleworth. Go and pose there. We'll take a picture. That looks really good. And I'm like, I don't want to. I just want to go for a walk. And he's like, yeah, but you might need it someday. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake. So my laziness, but his kind of encouragement, I would say, has got us to where we are today. Definitely. And it was definitely no one there for me to go, do you do that? What do you do? How do you find it?
Yeah, and that's so brave of you. Do you feel like if you were a white ethnicity, you'd have more courage to try it? Do you think?
Probably. I mean, like, I used to go to a class at Hearst Community Centre. It was a lady called Julie, and she does like Pilates. And I remember just looking at her thinking, oh, yeah, maybe I should ask her. But then I was like, I never really spoke to her apart from go to the class and leave the class. So again, yeah, maybe if there was somebody, I mean, I know in the temple they do like mantra chanting and stuff, but we normally follow the priest, or we follow like a group that's well kind of established in their background and heritage. It's not something that we'd be like, oh yeah, let's go and ask them that, would you recommend going doing a qualification on it? So it was totally like I don't know, a flip of a coin, maybe.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's to show it's massive bravery. It's as brave as people move into a brand new country, right? So yeah, it's a big leap of faith, and it's shown that it worked out. So great stuff.
I think you have to. If you're not in a place that's good, you have to make a change. Otherwise, the only place is going a little bit dark. And I think to find the light, you have to do something different. Challenge yourself and find a moment. Yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff. Yeah. I feel like I have to shout my wife out now because you shouted at Jay. So
yeah, you better do.
No. You're right though. Like, Hannah's massively supportive. Even that day when she said, "No, you're not." Like, she's been really supportive throughout, and it's a lonely, selfish thing. Comedy. I'm out the road 3-4 times a night. I'm leaving at 6-7 o'clock. I'm coming back at midnight. And we just had the baby as well. So I took a good time off to be with the baby. And even now, she's still encouraging me to go. I was in Plymouth on Wednesday last week, just gone. I'm going to Bournemouth this weekend coming up. But I'm taking family this time as well. But it just shows that, you know, it's really selfish of me to do this. But I'm doing it because I'm being encouraged by my wife and how amazing she is and just how much. Because that belief has to be there. And, like, you know, I'm sure the rest of your family believe in you as well, just like mine do. So, it's great to have that support. And it's all been set up for this moment to go and do it, try it.
But I'm just going to go back to the full circle of where, you know, it's a career, a job, if you're a doctor, a dentist, you know, a surgeon or whatever it might be. There's, you know, a high ticket price to live a lifestyle, but you can live within a means and enjoy life with doing the things that you enjoy. It doesn't have to mean that you're earning like lots of money. It just means you're working to what you feel is creating your lifestyle. And I think that's where, you know, no disrespect, our parents came over and they thought that's the best way. Earn lots of money and, you know, you'll be happy. But we see it's not the way, it's not the only way or the way. Yeah.
No, definitely agree. I think, and I think maybe some like-minded people in here, but people live their life how they want to, right? And you know, if those things, if you want the big house, the fancy car, the expensive jewelry, etc., that's totally fine. That's your materialistic, it's your way of living, right? But if you kind of take the step back, ask the question, does that thing that I'm buying make me happy?
Yeah.
And probably not at the end of the day. What does make you happy? That's probably a good question to... God, I got really philosophical then.
That's all right. Okay, let's share some wins then and some challenges, and then we'll move on to a little bit more, because I'm conscious of our time because I haven't got a watch on.
It is nearly past. So we've got... So go with you, Jay, first. What were your biggest wins so far? What are your biggest wins?
I wrote down 10 years of teaching yoga and 25 years of practicing yoga because nobody told me what it was.
Yeah.
I'm still discovering it. I went on a training last weekend and I was still like, I don't know anything. I do know, but you just learn something all the time. And I think that's the nice thing about life that, if you stay as though, I know everything now, you will just stop. Whereas if you constantly like finding out and discovering, it'll always keep you interested, intrigued, and kind of moving forward. So yeah, I'd say that. And then, because obviously I came from a fashion background, that's why I think it's a win for me, because I thought I was just going to work in that industry and do that for the rest of my life. But yeah, having my studio, having my community, I think I have a fabulous community. I love them all. You're all here, lovely people. Last year, when I opened this studio, I was researching like yoga mats and things like that. And randomly, a couple of times, I got invited into the Trafford Centre store. And I was like, I just haven't got time. I'm trying to open the studio. And they want me to come and do a fit session or something was going on. And again, Jay encouraged me because I was like going to refuse it. And really what they were trying to do is invite me to become their ambassador. And it's actually a privilege to be their ambassador, as I don't know how many, but I've only met one of the South Asian member that's a Lululemon ambassador at this present moment in time, which was really nice to have somebody else there. But I hope I'm representing so many people in so many different ways. I'm going to say South Asian, a female entrepreneur, being a yoga teacher, coming from Manchester, because I'm supporting you all hopefully through that store, representing us here as a community. Also just maybe like having a platform to speak about things that we might need on the ground as a community. And using that bigger platform to share. So yeah, I'd say that. And then I think some of the, go on, you share your wins, Amit. Let's stay on the wins.
Well, you've done too many wins now, so I'm going to lose the wins. Thanks. No, I'm joking. No, it's really great.
I
that's
put
great
wins.
Experience. Yeah, good.
Okay.
So mine are more kind of progression-wise. I think, though, taking the progression back of where I'm going in comedy, I think right now I'm balancing. I think I'm balancing where I want to be. I know that I've still got the day job, I've still got the wife, the family, the etc., and the comedy. And I think balancing that right now is a big win, because if you unbalance one thing, you add one thing to the scale, it tipples, right? So being able to do what I'm doing now and knowing where my boundaries lie are equally important. So I think since Avi's come along, the little one, I've found now where my balance lies. Where is it that I would have my boundaries for my work and for the comedy, and just kind of saying, right, okay, here's what I need to do, here's where the priorities lie for me, right? So that's been a massive win in terms of finding out where I am. And progression in comedy is slow. It does take a long time to get places. There's more means now than ever. You got social media, so you can promote yourself, whereas previously you had to go to Live at the Apollo or Michael McIntyre's Comedy Roadshow to be seen, right? So there's all those opportunities as well. But I think, like you said, taking the advice of people who have done it before you is very important, whether it's somebody you've worked with directly or not. But yeah, just don't stop learning. Don't stop learning. I think that's one thing that I've learned from early on, is you can always be better. So there's some people who very much like, I'm the best as I can be now, therefore I need to stop, but it's never the case, right? So that's one thing that I'd say is a big one.
And challenges, what would you say are challenges?
I'd probably say it's like the longevity that it takes for comedy to become a full-time role for people is a big challenge, but I think equally that goes hand in hand with resilience. So even though it is challenging because comedy is very popular these days, when you do start off, you have to apply for gigs, you have to put your comedy CV in and send it out to promoters. That's one CV in 30 that person's probably got, right? So it's a big old kind of big old net out there that people are fishing from in terms of promoters. But I think one thing that I've learned alongside that is resilience, because it's not personal. A lot of this is not personal. So just accept it and move on and keep on fighting. So yeah, I think even though it's been challenging getting to where I am now, and to be fair, where I am now is quite quick, it's that resilience part that's let me do that. What about yourself? How about you? What big challenges you've had?
Well, obviously, because I started teaching yoga 2015, I think that just in terms of yoga teaching, I'm going to say COVID was a big challenge because everything went online. There was a lot of like free yoga practices, and really it was like my income. So it was like, oh, what am I going to do now? But pivoting and changing and learning, staying resilient, staying positive, like using different techniques of and approaching it in a different way. I think that would be a challenge within like the last 10 years of teaching and growing, because around about COVID time I'd already started thinking about opening a studio. I am so grateful that I didn't open it just before that point, because a lot of friends of mine actually had to close their businesses. I ended up with a lot of debt because the landlords wouldn't give them the rent-free period or support that they might have needed. So I think that kind of COVID period was like a little pause within the progression of where we could be or what we could do. But like you said earlier, everything happens for a reason. I think the other kind of challenges that we find is really difficult to articulate through imagery what yoga is. And I know Will's sitting here as a yoga teacher, Gemma's sitting here as a yoga teacher. It's a very felt experience, and everyone that comes to yoga, when you actually sit in a room and you're guided, you actually have a felt experience. A picture does not demonstrate how you're going to have that experience. So I think social media has a place. It is great. I mean, we're going to use the platform as well, and this is what we're doing. But I think in terms of like a felt experience, it's an in-person experience. So imagery isn't everything. I think that's a hard message to put forward. Yeah.
Slogan, put on the wall. Imagery is everything.
Okay. Lovely. Okay, so last few bits, and then we can get leg shaking and then meditation.
Cool. The thing we wanted to wrap up on was, so what does South Asian Heritage Month mean to you? After everything we said, what does it mean to you?
Oh, you want me to go for it? Okay, so I wrote it down because I'm better at speaking than I am writing, and then I forget what I've said. So I'll try to write it down. I said, it's important for me to share and speak about South Asian Heritage Month because it's my heritage. To recognize and acknowledge the people before, their hardship, their hard work, their courage and their bravery. For me to live a privileged life where diversity and integration is so prevalent. I'm privileged as an Asian female entrepreneur, and I know so many other females around the world that probably don't have the same opportunities as I have. So that's why I think raising awareness is so important.
That's a brilliant answer. That's fantastic. That's really good. No, great. That's fantastic. You're on the horse for Jade. Really good answer. Yeah. Excellent.
Same question to you.
Same question to me.
Amit.
So mine is about integration. I think if I was to say what it means to me, I would say with everything going on in the world right now, with the way it is out there all across every country and what's been happening, I think South Asian Heritage Month is about integrating across countries, across cultures, and showing that there's more strength in unity than there is division. I think that's a huge thing that we want to take away from this, is how do we become better as one, because it's so easy to get tied up in your own thing and have your own area. But then how do we actually come together, and how do we help promote and share that message? So one thing that I want to take away, people, is try and unite, learn about other people's culture, learn about other people's religions, learn about other people's faiths and beliefs, and don't be scared to share yours as well, right? Because it's massively out there, and that's how we all learn and become part of a bigger picture.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to round of applause you. If you agree. Yeah, okay. So going forward, what would you like to see maybe you would like to influence or to change something for others?
Can I say what I just said before? Yeah. Look, I think basically that kind of summarizes what I'd probably change going forward. Is the takeaway from me to all of you today is go and ask the question. Go and be inquisitive. Go and learn about other people's faiths. Go and learn about other people's religions. I think we need to be more positive as a general community. When I talk community, I mean Manchester as well. But I think what people can go and take away is don't be scared to be the first person to move as well. Because like Jay, like you've done yourself, first person, like you are aware of to move in this area, to do something here. First person, in a Gujarati, I believe, area, so do what I'm doing without any role models. For people here, just go and try it. What's the worst that can happen, basically? Say yes more, basically, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of like piggyback on the back of what you've said, but it's actually like when someone's doing something, it's not coming from a place of fear or scarcity, and actually like celebrating them, because I think it's quite often dismissed as oh yeah, they're doing fine, just carry on. But actually working in numbers and trying to build that kind of awareness actually helps. So rather than being scared, feared, or saying something that you think may be helpful, maybe try to support. I'm just thinking about an example where somebody said to me, like, so when are you going to get a proper job? And I was like, this is my job.
As a yoga teacher, did you abstain from violence?
I actually said, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
10 years later,
Yeah.
please come here. But yeah, no, in terms of a yoga teacher and a yoga aspect, I think I practice yoga to stop myself from saying those things. But yeah, I'm someone that would probably turn around and say, so what is a proper job? Because what does it mean? So I think in terms of like what you're saying, I think that maybe an influencer change would be like to encourage, to promote, to applaud, to support the people in your area, I think, for that. It's showing love and kindness to all. And then I think the other thing that I wanted to touch on was about Lululemon, who's supporting the event today. They have an acronym called IDEA, and it stands for Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Action. And I think we get the first part of it, the ID, but the EA bit, the equity and action bit, we fall on that hurdle where, you know, we'll start to put things into place and we'll do it. And I'm so grateful that we're actually getting this opportunity today to do this, because it wasn't that long ago where I put the idea forward to them, and they have greatly supported, like, offering the goodie bags and saying that we can use the branding against it, because I think having a brand helps us to promote what we're doing. So really, it's like, if we know we're in these spaces and we're doing the work that we're doing, it's actually like, if you feel confident or you're looking for mentorship or things like that, you speak up about it. Find the people, ask the people, because it's not that somebody's saying no to you if you're not asking the question. They're only going to say no to you if you don't ask the question, are they? So just go and try. Just be a little bit braver, because change happens in the discomfort. It's not going to happen by staying safe. If you stay where you are, you're not going to see the change. So I think that's my messaging around change and influence, is be a bit braver.
Cool. Cool. I love it. Excellent. Oh, very good. Round of applause for you guys as well for listening. That's the end. Just got some shout outs as well that we want to give out. So thank you, Krishna, Sham, and all the videography team behind you. Round of applause for those guys, please, for coming along today. Big shout out to Kish as well, the photographer we've had as well. Thank you, Kish. Want to shout out Lily's as well for the mithai that they donated to the cause today. Lululemon for the goodie bags and powering the event, like you just mentioned there. And a massive shout out to people who have donated here. Thank you for donating towards the charities that we mentioned, but also thank you to those who donated just regardless of not coming as well. So we had a few people do that, so we're massively grateful. And a massive shout out for the chai and the space of the event and the studio and hosting and organising the whole thing. Jay Yoga, please. Round of applause.
Thank you, Amit.